Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update from NFL News Now. When you talk about timing in football, there's something almost poetic about it. The Chicago Bears have been looking for that spark off the edge, that one guy who can change the rhythm of a game, and suddenly, boom, here comes Austin Booker. The rookie edge rusher, finally activated off injured reserve, might just be the unexpected ace this defense has been waiting for. You can feel the energy shift when a young player like him steps into the picture, especially one who showed so much potential during the preseason. Remember, this kid led the entire NFL in sacks during the preseason, and he did it while playing only 2 out of 3 games. That's no small feat, folks. That's explosiveness, hunger, and sheer determination rolled into one. And now, with the Bears desperate for more pressure on opposing quarterbacks, his timing couldn't be better. Defensive coordinator Dennis Allen can barely hide his excitement. He's been talking about Booker for weeks, saying how the young pass rusher has looked electric in practice. You can almost hear the anticipation in his voice when he says, he's been outstanding the last couple of weeks. And the thing is, the Bears didn't rush him back. They played this one carefully. They had that 21-day activation window, and they waited until the very end, making sure his knee was solid, his conditioning was sharp, and his confidence was there. He's been ready for a while, but now he's officially cleared to bring that speed and aggression back to the field. And boy, do the Bears need it right now. Their pass rush has been, let's just say, underwhelming. Through the first 8 weeks of the season, Dayo Odeyingbo has only managed 1 sack. 1. That's not what Chicago was expecting when they handed him a $48 million deal over 3 years in free agency. Montez Sweat has been the only consistent threat on the edge, with 3 sacks to his name, but even that hasn't been enough to offset the lack of help from the other side. And with Dominique Robinson going down with a high ankle sprain, an injury that'll keep him out for several weeks, the Bears are suddenly thin at one of the most crucial positions on defense. Enter Austin Booker, the kid who might not just fill a gap, but redefine the energy of this entire front seven. Head coach Ben Johnson, trying to stay optimistic, has been pointing out the positives. He says Sweat is starting to ascend, and that Odeyingbo had his best game against the run last week. That's coach speak for, we're trying to make it work. But deep down, you know they're craving more bite from their defensive ends. They need pressure, disruption, chaos. They need quarterbacks to start feeling uncomfortable again. That's where Booker comes in. What made him so special in preseason wasn't just the sacks, it was the way he got them. His first step was lightning fast, his motor relentless, and his ability to finish plays stood out. He's the kind of player who doesn't quit on a rep. Even if he doesn't win right off the snap, he keeps clawing, keeps bending around the tackle, keeps chasing until the quarterback goes down. That's the type of effort that changes a defense's identity. Now, the Bears have been careful with his return for another reason. The schedule. Over the past few weeks, they've faced some run-heavy opponents. Washington, New Orleans, Baltimore. All teams that don't exactly drop back and sling it 50 times a game. It wasn't the right moment to throw Booker into the mix when his biggest asset is the pass rush. But this week, it's a different story. They're going up against the Bengals, led by veteran quarterback Joe Flacco. And with the Bears' secondary banged up, down 2 or even 3 cornerbacks, the best way to protect that back end isn't with coverage, it's with pressure. Flacco's not exactly a mobile guy anymore, so if the Bears can get him off his spot, make him throw off balance, they've got a real shot to control the game. And here's the sneaky part that Dennis Allen hinted at. Booker's presence could actually unlock Dayo Odeyingbo's true potential. See, Odeyingbo has been stuck playing most of his snaps on the edge, 271 of them, to be exact, while he's only lined up inside between tackle and center about 61 times. But Allen loves Dayo's ability to rush from the interior. He said it himself. When we evaluated Dayo this offseason, one of the best things he did was the inside rush. And now, with Booker available, they can finally shuffle things around. Let Dayo move inside on passing downs. Let Booker take the edge. Suddenly, you've got a much more dynamic pass rush, one that can attack from multiple angles and keep offensive lines guessing. That's the kind of versatility good defenses thrive on. It's not just about having one star. It's about creating matchups, exploiting weaknesses, and keeping offenses uncomfortable. When you've got Montez Sweat coming off one edge, Booker blazing off the other, and Deo collapsing the pocket from the middle, it forces quarterbacks to make decisions faster. And that's where mistakes happen. That's where turnovers get created, where drives die, and where momentum starts swinging your way. Of course, all this talk about rushing the passer only really matters if the Bears can actually force teams to pass. And that's been another problem this season. They've been playing from behind way too often. When you're trailing, opponents can keep running the ball, using play action, keeping your pass rush guessing. Dennis Allen talked about that too, saying, "It's much harder to rush the passer when you're in run, play action downs versus when they're in drop-back mode." He's right. Every defensive coordinator knows that. When you've got a lead, you can unleash your rushers. You can pin your ears back, send the house, and make quarterbacks feel the heat. But when you're trailing, you're constantly on your heels, reacting instead of attacking. That's why Allen is hoping the offense can finally put up some points early, give his defense a cushion to work with. "If we can get the score in a position where they're having to throw every down," he said, "then it changes everything." You can sense the frustration, but also the hope. Because this defense has pieces, it's just been missing that one final push to bring it all together. Maybe, just maybe, Booker is that piece. The thing about rookies like Booker is that they bring more than just physical ability. They bring energy. They bring attitude. When a young guy steps onto the field and starts making plays, it's contagious. Veterans feed off that. The crowd feels it. The sideline comes alive. Remember how chaotic Soldier Field got during preseason when Booker got those sacks? That's the spark Chicago's been missing lately. And with the defense battered by injuries, they could use every ounce of that enthusiasm. So this week, as the Bears prepare to face the Bengals, all eyes will be on number 57. Fans are going to want to see if that preseason lightning still strikes when the games actually matter. Can he get around the edge against NFL starters? Can he stay disciplined against the run while still bringing that relentless heat? These are the questions that will define his debut, and maybe define the Bears' defensive turnaround. If Booker can produce even a little of what he showed in August, it could be a game changer. It could free up Sweat, help Odiingbo find his rhythm inside, and give this defense a new identity heading into the second half of the season. And if that happens, if the Bears suddenly start hitting quarterbacks more often, you might look back at this week as the moment everything shifted. The moment a young pass rusher helped wake up a sleeping defense. So yeah, the Bears are counting on Austin Booker to bring the juice. To bring the speed, the tenacity, the second-effort sacks that turn close games into wins. The NFL is full of stories about young players who step in when a team needs them most. And this could be one of those stories. After all, every great defense needs that spark plug, that one player who doesn't just make plays, but changes the whole mood of the team. Booker's got that chance now. And from what we saw before the season even started, he just might be ready to seize it. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. There's been a whirlwind of speculation sweeping through the NFL world this week, a story so spicy that it has every fan and analyst glued to their feeds, dissecting every single word and gesture from players and coaches alike. The rumor mill reached a fever pitch when news broke of Caleb Williams, the electrifying quarterback who has captured the imaginations of fans since his college days, allegedly making a jaw-dropping declaration regarding the Chicago Bears and a potential shakeup in their roster. According to sources close to the team, Williams was overheard, or perhaps intentionally vocal, uttering words that could send shockwaves through the NFL. "If he starts, then this team doesn't need me." The comment, reportedly directed at Ben Johnson, a rising offensive talent with a polarizing presence on the team, has stirred a maelstrom of discussion across social media, podcasts, and sports news channels. Fans are dissecting every nuance of this statement, trying to decode the intent, the emotion, and the consequences. Was it a moment of frustration? A calculated power play? Or perhaps a signal that Williams sees himself as the ultimate centerpiece of the Bears' offense, unwilling to share the spotlight or compromise on what he believes the team needs to succeed? Every angle seems plausible, and yet, the truth remains tantalizingly out of reach, fueling speculation and giving the rumor a life of its own. The context surrounding this alleged comment is just as fascinating as the words themselves. Caleb Williams, having been celebrated as a transformative quarterback in college, entered the NFL with sky-high expectations. and his every move is scrutinized. His blend of agility, arm strength, and football IQ has drawn comparisons to some of the league's all-time greats, and teams have been quick to recognize his potential as a franchise-altering talent. The Chicago Bears, in particular, have been at a crossroads for some time, seeking a dynamic presence under center who can invigorate their offense and inspire a new era of competitiveness. The addition, or even the suggestion, of a player like Williams raises immediate questions about team chemistry, hierarchy, and leadership dynamics. Ben Johnson, for his part, is no slouch. Known for his adaptability and flashes of brilliance, Johnson has been carving out a role within the Bears system, but reports suggest that Williams' purported comment has cast a shadow over his standing, sparking debate over whether Johnson's style and capabilities align with the vision of the team's newest, and perhaps most vocal, talent. It's the kind of locker room intrigue that fans live for, a storyline that has the potential to dominate headlines for weeks, even months, if not handled with care by coaches, players, and the media alike. Insiders say the alleged remark has not been officially confirmed, but the mere whisper of it has already created ripples across the NFL ecosystem. Analysts on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube have been dissecting video clips, past interviews, and even social interactions between Williams and Johnson, searching for clues, looking for any sign of tension that might corroborate the claim. The intrigue is compounded by Williams' personality, known for his confidence, competitive fire, and sometimes mercurial temperament. He's the kind of player who doesn't shy away from expressing his expectations, both of himself and of those around him. And in that sense, the comment, if true, fits a pattern that fans have witnessed before, a refusal to settle for anything less than what he believes is optimal for winning. And yet, the consequences of such a statement, whether overheard in jest, frustration, or seriousness, are enormous. Locker room dynamics are delicate, and the suggestion that a top-tier quarterback might consider the team unnecessary if a particular player is in the starting lineup is a scenario that coaches, general managers, and teammates cannot ignore. The media frenzy surrounding it reflects that high-stakes reality, with every outlet scrambling to interpret the implications, every fan eager to weigh in with their theories, and every rival team secretly pleased at the potential disruption in Chicago's camp. This isn't just about two players. It's about the identity of the Bears as an organization at a pivotal moment. Caleb Williams' emergence has been seen as an opportunity to reshape the team's offensive philosophy, bringing a new level of energy, versatility, and unpredictability to a roster that has been seeking a spark for years. Ben Johnson, on the other hand, represents continuity, potential, and an existing structure that the coaching staff has invested time and resources in developing. The clash, whether real or imagined, between Williams' desire for primacy and Johnson's established role embodies a classic sports narrative. The newcomer versus the incumbent, the fiery talent versus the system player, the star-driven vision versus the methodical development path. Fans are eating it up, analysts are framing it in dramatic terms, and the rumor itself has grown into a full-blown storyline with its own momentum. It's no longer just a comment. It has become a symbol of tension, ambition, and the unpredictable nature of team sports at the highest level. Reports also suggest that the coaching staff is acutely aware of the situation, though publicly they maintain the usual posture of calm professionalism. Internally, however, sources indicate that the Bears are monitoring interactions between Williams and Johnson closely, evaluating how personalities mesh, and considering whether adjustments in the roster, play calling, or even off-field management might be necessary. There is a sense that this is more than just a personal spat. It could influence starting roles, strategic decisions, and even trade considerations. Teams are notoriously sensitive to discord, especially when it involves a player with Williams' talent and a potential fan favorite like Johnson. The rumor has prompted questions about leadership within the locker room, the influence of veteran players, and the strategies coaches must employ to balance egos and ambitions with the team's broader goals. It's a drama that unfolds in whispers, in hallway glances, in subtle shifts during practice, all magnified in importance because of who is involved and what's at stake. Meanwhile, fans have been relentless in their speculation, creating viral memes, debating on forums, and dissecting every press conference for hints of the underlying story. Social media has exploded with commentary, ranging from supportive takes for Williams' competitive fire to defensive arguments for Johnson's right to maintain his role. The narrative has developed its own ecosystem, fueled not only by the alleged comment, but also by the natural human fascination with rivalry, ambition, and the fragility of professional sports relationships. Pundits have been weighing in with historical parallels, drawing comparisons to past instances where a single comment or moment reshaped a team's trajectory, sometimes catalyzing greatness, other times precipitating decline. Every tweet, podcast, and YouTube video now feeds into the rumor, amplifying it beyond its original context, turning a simple statement into a storyline that could define a season, a franchise, or even the careers of the players involved. Of course, there is the possibility that the remark was taken out of context, that it was said in a moment of jest, or even as a motivational jab rather than a literal declaration of intent. Sports history is littered with misunderstood comments that snowballed into legends, myths, and viral sensations, and this could very well be another instance of that phenomenon. But whether literal or figurative, the impact is undeniable. The idea that Caleb Williams might question the necessity of the team if a certain player is in the starting lineup has captured imaginations, sparking endless what-if scenarios among fans and insiders alike. Could this lead to a public confrontation, a shift in the depth chart, a trade? Or will it all fizzle out as another locker room whisper blown up by social media and sports media hype? The uncertainty only fuels the discussion, making this one of the most compelling storylines of the season so far. As the Bears prepare for the upcoming season, all eyes will be on Williams and Johnson, on how they interact in practice, how the coaching staff navigates the potential tension, and how the media continues to amplify every gesture and comment. It is a situation that perfectly encapsulates the drama and intensity of professional football. The stakes are sky high, the personalities larger than life, and the outcomes unpredictable. Every fan, analyst, and rival team is now invested in the unfolding narrative, waiting to see whether this rumored remark becomes a defining moment of discord or a mere footnote in a season that promises excitement, surprises, and a fair share of controversy. The whispers have grown into a roar, and the NFL world is listening, hungry for the next development in this high-stakes, high-drama saga. One thing is certain: whatever happens next, the Bears, Caleb Williams, and Ben Johnson are at the center of a story that will be talked about for months, if not years, in the annals of NFL lore. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.